How can a female reach an almost godlike level of confidence? This is where I really have to start this video because in the past, I would say, you know, a woman when dating should split the bill and be humble and, have sympathy for the man. If you are this kind of woman, people are going to extract whatever they are lacking from you and leave you an empty vessel. And I know I'm going into this advice sounding very intense right off the bat. And, I would persuade my friends in the past, as I do you guys, are you really okay with getting less out of life than you can? All of us are put here with privileges, right? You might have been born wealthy or attractive or tall or not, having access to your limbs and your organs. We all have a privilege that somebody else does not. You are not put here to be a charity case, right? As Leo Skeppy, the GOAT, says, give yourself to a crackhead. If you really think you have nothing to offer, give yourself to a crackhead. My mom loves to say, go down on Main Street and find a crackhead to date if a man thinks he can't take you out to dinner. And, just for a comedic example, I hope nobody is offended by that. But literally, I think a lot of us are energetically in flux where we're not quite sure if we're worth $1 million, 20 or zero, right? And you're worth, if I ask you, how much are you worth? As much as you say you are, first response. There are people out here who will say nothing. They have no self-worth. And that's fine. Be honest. Like when I'm talking to you, this is a time to be honest. There were times in the past, where I would be like, I'm trash. If you think you're trash, people see that. They will put you in the garbage. They'll take the sticker off you that's shiny and then they'll put you in the garbage. If you say $1 million, you might stutter when you say that. If I say, how much are you worth? $1 million? They will peel that sticker off, see the crappy quality, and put you in the garbage as well. If I say $1 billion, unwavering confidence, you will feel $1 billion. When you think of the most beautiful, influencer or celebrity you know. And I'm really putting you guys onto my alchemy now for 5 views here. But I don't feel fear about this anymore because it's not something mystical. It is mystical, but knowing oneself is the most mystical thing you can do. So when I say, this is how you become worth something, it's true. I hope everyone can feel as much worth as this, But if I say I'm worth $1 million and I take care of myself and you say, no, you're not, this is the part where you're going to see if I'm made in China or not. If I say, worth nothing, I'm proving my worth to the crackhead. I'm worth nothing. If I say nothing, I'm worth it all. Have you ever seen an ad on TV for Louis Vuitton, for, any luxury brand? No, they don't need advertising. I think I've discussed this summer on this channel, but you do not need to advertise something that is priceless, right? You don't need to go around and say, hey guys, this is really cool, you should buy it. If you are truly worth everything, you should not be everyone's cup of tea. If you are striving to be everyone's cup of tea, you're not woke yet. And I used to be such a people pleaser. My goal was to get through life just this watery way, just sliding through, making everyone feel good about themselves, not offending anyone. Now I am going by the path of fire because I understand in order to have anything meaningful that you care about, you not only cannot be worried about what people think about you, you must be ready to piss someone off. It is living in whatever the opposite of a flow is, a blockage within yourself. If you think you can swallow your anger and not advocate for yourself. I used to feel, for example, recently I engaged in a phone call that was a bit uncomfortable. In the past, I would have stayed up all night worrying about it. I would have said nothing to protect the other person's feelings. I'm at a point now where I understand I should not feel uncomfortable setting a boundary. If anyone should feel uncomfortable, it's the person who initially infringed on that boundary. And I know this all sounds obvious, but I think this is truly something you need replayed over and over and over until it is tattooed in your brain and rewires your brain chemistry. For example, let's look at a really good example that's going to traumatize all the weird kids in high school. When I was growing up, if I was having a negative situation socializing with someone else, perhaps I would come in very embodied, giving a 8 out of 10 confidence that I'm worth $1 million, right? Are you worth $1 million? Yeah, that's how I was. This person would go and emote like I am not worth $1 million. That emote does not convey that I'm not worth it. It conveys that they're intimidated by me being most likely worth $1 million, right? In the past, I would be like, and avoid them. I'd smile, do all this really weird. I mean, you see the way I'm emoting right now. It's very weird. The person that is worth $1 million would go, anyway. Not even anyway. I mean, just full let it brush off, you know? The pachucos would like wear these hats in the past and tilt the brim down in case anyone on the street had something bad to say. And I think we all need a little bit of that. What is that going to be for you? For me, that is going to the gym daily and reaching a level of fitness where if someone has something to say, I almost laugh. Like, you are laughing at me? Do you go to the gym 5 days a week? Do you believe that you're worth $1 million as much as I do? And I want to make this crystal clear. The old me would have this disclaimer. I'm not self-centered. I swear it's all a bit. It's not a bit. I am worth $1 million. You are too, if you truly believe it and treat yourself like you are. Again, give yourself to a crackhead. Get a Mercedes-Benz and give a drunk person the keys to it if you don't care, right? If you think you're worth nothing, go throw your life away on whatever dopamine addiction of the week it is. If you think you're that Mercedes-Benz, give yourself a car wash. Bring yourself in for the service. Do not let anyone drive you. A car like that will lose its value if it is so used by everyone. That exclusivity is part of what makes it nice. And that's a whole other tangent I could go on. But don't overthink that. Most of the car's maintenance is in the driver, right? If these people are going to laugh at you, that you could even suggest you're worth $1 million, think of this. If I pull up next to you in this Mercedes-Benz and someone goes, that emote in the past as the driver of the Mercedes-Benz, me, I would not say, I don't even know what they're laughing at. Anyways, what else was I up to today? What was I going to accomplish in my nice car? I would say, oh, they know I don't belong in the Mercedes-Benz and they think I'm not good enough to drive it. Are you on crack? That doesn't make sense. If I look at, Kim Kardashian, who's out here with money, fame, clout, and I go, do you think she's going to shrivel up inside and feel anxiety that Joe Blow on the street scoffed at her? No. She's going to be like, anyway. You've got to stop thinking that somebody being not vibrationally aligned with you is them denouncing your character or calling your bluff or clocking you. People always think if I wear what I want in public, they're going to clock me. Have you seen this meme? Like, people will know I'm not a hat wearer. Like, if I wear a hat, people can tell I'm not a hat wearer. They cannot. They don't know. I think throughout my younger life, I knew I wanted to be a really specific kind of somebody. And I always did what I wanted to do, but I wavered in that energy. Are you worth $1 million? Yeah. That's how I was for my youth. Now if someone says, are you worth $1 million? 100%. If not more, right? It's this confidence. And when you go on a date with somebody, I think so many of us are off-putting because we're trying to give people what we think they want. I could be giving, beautiful, wonderful Christian girl. And what if you're evil and demonic, right? And there's no predicting what others want. And everyone has different preferences. So this is why you should be exactly what you want. And then you're going to attract the people that have the same life goals and desired outcome is you. That's really all I have to say about that. So I have one more question for you. Are you worth $1 million?